Me and Mrs. Naked Gardener got some seeds to plant out for next month, the month of May. And before we do that, we normally start our own seed starting mix. Now, most people that has a small backyard garden or probably an apartment normally would buy something like this. From last year alone, this went from $5, now it's almost $8. And you don't get that much in there. You probably get about 2.5 flats worth of this. And then you got to sterilize and all this other stuff. And there's always been some videos out there how you can make your own seed starting mix, and no one ever shows about does it really save you any much money. So in this video we're going to see if making your own seed starting mix actually save you money or not. We're going to cover the seeds that we're going to start for the month of May, and then show you how we start our seed starting mix, and kind of show you the process how we're going to see if it's really worth the money. Mrs. Naked Gardener loves growing these sunflowers. These are the Hoppy Black Dye.
Yes, I haven't grown it here, but we did very successfully in our backyard garden in Garland.
Yeah, so these get to medium to large sunflowers.
You can use it to dye stuff, and so I was thinking it would be fun to experiment with that with the soap.
Okay, so we'll try this out. This is another one for Mary's. This is a Lemon Queen sunflower. Says these are open pollinated, non-GMO, so that's good. The teddy bear, gotten growing those. We're growing a lot of sunflowers. We got some random ones, some volunteer ones out in our field.
And they're
right
black
now.
Sunflower seeds out in the field.
Yeah, black oil sunflowers. Yeah. These are the Mammoth Russian sunflowers. Oh, I bet you these get very...
I've always wanted to grow those. We have space to grow them now.
Yeah, it's 8 to 12 feet tall.
I know.
Woo.
We got a tall ladder now.
Okay. And these are the tall orange sunflowers. These get about 4 to 5 feet. This is from Haas. These are Pro Cut plum sunflowers. I guess they're for cut varieties if you're doing cut flowers.
Yeah, and they gifted that to us at the Homesteader conference we went to.
Oh, okay. It doesn't say how tall they get, so it'll be interesting to see how that one is.
I like the color of that one.
And then we have our specialty ones that Mrs. Naked Gardener wants to try. The pink bananas.
If I'm gonna fail, I want to just find out.
Yeah, I mean, with these you have to soak these, correct? So
Yeah.
it says on here, soak seeds in warm water to hot water overnight or longer. Plant a 1/2 inch deep in peat-based soil medium. Keep moist and warm 70 to 80 degrees. Germination will be erratic and may occur 1 week to 6 months or more. Ooh.
I know. So I just want to find out. I've wanted to grow them for more than 2 years. So,
Yeah, at least now we can grow them in a container and
let's see.
and put them in the high tunnel when it gets cold. So we'll see. We got these soaking in some water as well. These are the Silver Queen okras, and these I'm interested with this one. These are the Cajun Jewel okra. You don't have these soaking right now, do you?
I have moringa and the bananas and the okra all soaking in water.
Okay, so we got the dwarf moringa. These are very, very medicinal and they're considered perennials. I believe.
We have grown them successfully before.
Yeah, and so can't wait to have this. I think I want to grow a lot of these in the future because I want to put them along the fence line over there, since Mrs. Naked Gardener's now open up and excited to growing or raising some pigs, so that way it can have a little bit shade for them and feed it off to them, and we can use it as well.
Bacon seeds.
Yeah.
I need bacon seeds.
And these are going to be pumpkin Big Macs. I think I want to try to grow these around our irrigation system for our septic tank. That way it gets a natural watering and whatnot. Maybe even put one near our compost bin. So.
And it's really for the animals.
Yeah, and for people that wants to come and around. I'm about to say Thanksgiving, around Halloween, that they want to pick out their own. I might even try to grow those small ones just for our neighbors if they want to do their own.
It's a natural dewormer for animals.
So those are the seeds that we're going to be growing for the month of May, or at least starting off for the month of May. Now let's get to the nitty and gritty and see how much we're going to be saving if we're doing our own seed starting mix. So like I said, most small first-time gardener will get this Jiffy starting mix. It's a good starter mix. We started off with this. Now that we have more space, it just seems more beneficial that we do our own starting mix. When you have this, when you're using this, you have to sterilize it because sometimes it has those gnat eggs in there, fungus gnat eggs, and you want to kill off the eggs. We weighed this. It was a little bit over 6 pounds. So with the amount of money that you're paying for this bag, you're paying about $1.22 per pound.
Even though that says net weight 3.4 pounds on that,
yeah.
How does that equate? I don't understand.
Well, I did it with the bag, so probably with just the loose material because the sphagnum peat moss isn't very heavy. It's very light, so that could be the possible reason. But just for this bag alone, this is what you're paying, about $1.22
a pound
per pound. Now, since that is mostly peat moss, you could go to the big box store, Ace, Home Depot, Lowe's, maybe even Tractor Supply might have this. This, back about before the pandemic, this was under $10. Now it's about almost $19 with taxes, a lot. We just weighed this. It was about a little bit over 47 pounds. And for the amount that you're paying for it now, you're paying about 40 cents per pound for basically this bag. This is 3 cubic feet.
And that's something that you just use as a part.
Yes. And we'll show you how to make that here. Vermiculite and perlite was one of the main ingredients that we were put for our potting mix. It's been hard to find that lately. One of my friends, no, actually it was Gary from the Rustic Gardener. He was up there talking about he ordered his vermiculite from Uline. And this bag was roughly about 27 pounds. And it cost about $36. And the only bad thing about this, you have to buy 2 of these. So you have to buy 2 of these. So it goes roughly about $1, almost $1.30 per pound that you're paying for one of these bags. So we're going to show you how we do our potting mix, and then later on we'll show you how we make it a premium potting mix.
And a year and a half ago we could find this all the time at Home Depot.
Oh yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to do a 5-to-1 part. So 5-part peat moss and 1 part vermiculite. We're going to get 1 bucket of the peat moss. We're going to weigh that, and we're not going to weigh each bucket. We're going to guesstimate that most of the bucket is going to be the same, and then we're going to do 1 5-gallon bucket of the vermiculite, add that together, and see if the cost per pound is still cheaper than the bag weight.
Now, what is the active ingredients inside of that seed starting mix?
For the seed starting mix,
what's listed?
Let's see, we have 50 to 60% sphagnum peat moss, vermiculite, cocoa coir pith, lime to regulate the pH balance. So basically,
that's all that's in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so the majority of it is the peat moss and the vermiculite.
So what I'm going to do is I'm zeroing out the scale to have this 5-gallon bucket on here. So I'm going to load this up 5 times. Oop. £7 pounds. So we're going to do this 5 times, so that's 35 pounds, right? All right. So we got 1, 5. Now we're gonna do 1 part of the vermiculite. Oh, that's very fine. Look how fine that is. The very main reason for vermiculite is helps retain the moisture. So when your seeds, when you first start your seeds, you want the growing medium to be as moist as possible, because that moisture and sometimes even the heat of a heating pad helps your seeds germinate. Now after they germinate, you want to back down the watering a little bit, because you don't want your roots of your plant to get waterlogged and eventually die off. Alright, let's see how much this is.
5/16.
So we got 5 times 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 35, and that was at 40 cents a pound. That's $14 right there. This was $1.29 a pound, and this was how much?
5/16.
So that's $6.66. Ooh, that's a scary number. Plus 14. So you're almost paying $21 for this. That's basically not even 3 bags of that, and you're getting way more, as you can see so far. So let's just mix this up.
So how many bags do you think that would equate to? Because that bag is $7. The Jiffy seed starting mix is $7 and something a pound, or a bag.
Yeah.
So how many
bags would you need of this to equal that?
Yeah.
So this was what, almost like 6 pounds, I believe.
Yeah.
So
including the bag.
Yeah, including the bag. So you're paying. So you get 35, and this was, what was it before? What did we say? How many pounds this was?
5/16.
So that's almost 40 pounds. So you almost have to pay. You almost have to buy 5 bags of these. About 4 to 5
And
bags.
so the price difference is?
Yeah, so you're paying $48, almost $50 if you do that, compared to $21.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. And once I mix this up, we'll take a look at it. But it's going to be almost the same. It's light and fluffy. That's basically what peat moss is. It's another growing medium that it has no nutrients in it. That's what the main seeds. The seeds itself will have their own nutrients that it will need to help germinate and survive for the first few days of its germination life.
And we usually soak it with water.
Yeah.
How did you get your ratio?
Trial and error. You could do anywhere from 4-part sphagnum to up to 5-part. Really up to what you feel like what it looks like for you.
Because I'm willing to bet that bag doesn't have near as much vermiculite as this does.
So, does this already have one of those open? Nope. So, if you look at it,
that's mostly peat moss
compared to ours, and the texture of it feels the same. We just have more vermiculite in ours. So,
yeah, you can see that color difference.
Yeah. Well, they also have, remember they said they had a little bit of cocoa coir in there?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's very minimal.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a great growing medium. We could probably use this for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that'll feel way more than 2 flats, because I can only get about 2 flats.
Yeah.
Filled.
Now, what we normally do, because like I said, all of this doesn't have any nutrients in there. So what we do because sometimes we forget to water, or we have to leave the plants in there a little longer than what we need it to be. So we add the worm casting to our potting mix, our seed starting potting mix, and that we call that our naked seed starting mix. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to do another 1 part of the worm castings, and I just did these today. I just found this new sifting thing that I made to help out with harvesting a lot of the worm casting. Normally worm casting harvesting takes a long time. Reason why I dread doing this a little bit, but what this new method, it took very short. We'll probably do a video about it later.
Do you want to weigh that?
Oh, we can. How many pounds? Oh, it shows now 22 pounds. 22.24 pounds.
Wow, that's really heavy compared to
yeah, it's almost the peat moss itself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add that to here. There might be some worms in there. Wasn't able to get all the worms out, but that's all right. Now what the worm casting is going to do is going to add that nutrient for it, so that way if we forget to transplant it or anything of that nature, it's going to add that nutrient for it, so that the seedlings don't go like yellowish or die off as easily.
So somebody could buy worm casting to add.
Yeah, they could.
It's more expensive, but it's still less expensive than just buying by the bag for that seed starting mix.
Correct. I mean, and you'll get a better product regardless if you add some type of either compost or even worm castings to your seed starting mix. So if you're going to be purchasing this, you definitely want to start your seeds off the right way. And we did a video about that, how to sterilize your seed starting mix. We'll put that video off to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.